You just gotta have, that it factor. You gotta have that no quit in me. My name is Adrian Cruz. I work with FFL. We are agency owners within the company. My agency is Cruz Control. We've self-branded ourselves. To be considered an agency owner, your hierarchy or team has to be doing at least $150,000 in issued paid business a month. This last month we did 515,000. I'd say we average between 350,000 to 450,000 a month. We don't really, at least I don't view my business in a stature of like, I'm a CEO, I'm a VP, I'm a this. As you guys saw in the workspace earlier, I'm in the trenches. I'm not tucked away in an office somewhere with the door closed, come see me. Like, I'm in there active with my guys. So, I mean, hypothetically speaking, I'm one tier below the CEO of our agency, but in reality, I treat this just like I'm just coming into work every day. School was never for me. I never really liked school personally. Only thing I was ever really good at was math. I love numbers. Everything else, not so much. I was originally doing security when I was in school just to make money. You used to make 50, 60 bucks a night working at hole in the walls, bars, clubs. If you're familiar with UCF, I worked at pub and Knights Library. I worked in that scene many years ago. But yeah, one of my buddies that I worked security with got injured on the job. He got in the health insurance field and he tried to recruit me. But I mean, I didn't really think much of it. I'm just like another big guy that used to do security. No way he's going to be successful. Respectfully, I know that sounds such a hard judgment call, but I was just, I was being judgmental back then. I was very young. And it wasn't until a year later, I'm seeing his lifestyle upgrade and his success. And I finally bit and I was like, all right, man, what are you doing? Tell me more about what you got going on. And then he brought me in and that's what started it all. Yeah, I've never done sales before. I didn't really know what to expect. I'm in school, definitely new field, definitely going from math school, numbers, security to talking about deductibles, co-pays, out-of-pocket maximums. It was a completely different world to me, let alone the fact that I struggle with learning. I swear I have like a learning deficiency because, in the beginning, it's really hard. I'm always that guy in class where it teaches anybody else need to go over this one more time. I'm raising my hand like almost every time. But the thing about me is once I do figure it out and I get it down, it doesn't go anywhere. It sticks with me. So yeah, definitely just making sure I learned the product knowledge was very tough, but once I got it down, it was smooth sailing. Literally, you don't need to have a degree. You don't need to have done sales for many years. There's literally two major components that I feel heavily influence someone's success here: product knowledge and your ability to speak. That's it. If you know it, you can't help people or families with something you don't know or can't explain. You already shot yourself there. So you've got to be an expert on your craft and your product. And being able to speaking with conviction, being able to deliver your message, being able to sound and know what you're talking about and give that person the sense of, all right, I'm in the right hands. Versus if you have somebody who's umming and pausing and I'm not sure, and that's a good question, I don't know, that doesn't make the client feel secure. So you got to be able to speak and have that sense of you're with the right person, I got you. People generating the most income here are the most proactive in their business. They work the longest hours. They're working smart on their business. They're adapting. They're using technology. They're using CRMs. They're always being innovative. If you're always learning, you're always going to continue to grow and expand. But the second that you think you know it all, or the second that you think that you figured it out, is when you start, slowing down and not getting or yielding the results that you think you should be getting. And that's what I did essentially. I thought my way was the best way, and I wanted to work from home in the beginning, but I still had a boatload of questions and it never worked in my favor until I decided to stop being reactive and be more proactive. And I took the responsibility upon myself to go sit with some of the top producers of the company at that time. Luckily, they were very welcoming. I just said, hey, I don't know you, you don't know me, but you're performing crazy. I'd like to see what you do. And I would just sit next to them and they'd be like, yeah, just stay out of my way, but listen all you want. So I would take videos, recordings, I would take notes, and I would go home and I would practice and eventually implemented it myself on the phones to where I sounded as close to them as possible. It's like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. If you're not doing something right or making any money, but you're doing the same thing, I mean, that's literally insanity. So you've got to be constantly adapting and bettering yourself in business. My number one producer, his name is Carlos Farge. He's 25 years old. His birthday just passed. He's probably 26 now. He comes from the downtown nightlife. He used to bartend for many years. He came into this opportunity from referral. He was a dog off rip. He wanted to get on the phone as quickly as possible. He said, Adrian, everything and anything you tell me to do, I will replicate it, just tell me. And he literally followed it to a T. Now that gentleman has been writing with me for roughly 6 months now, and he's already my #1 top producing agent of over $250,000 in issued paid business in 6 months. He's got 15 organically grown agents, so people he knows personally that he's brought into the opportunity, essentially what I did for him. And he's in the process of relocating to Fort Lauderdale to help me open up an office out there because he has a lot of network and people over there that want to join the opportunity as well. So Carlos Farge, hands down, and that kid probably makes no less than 25 grand a month. Dude, he just was after it, man. He was worked the same hours I did. He was like, Adrian, when you're getting to work, I'll be there. What time are you leaving? I'll leave at that time. Just constantly proactive. Like where most people would just be on their phone on Instagram for hours, he's like, what can I do? What can I read? What can I listen to? Like he's just constantly trying to get better. One, they think the money's gonna fall in their lap. That's not gonna happen. You definitely have to work hard for yours. A lot of people think that it's old school, like suit, briefcase, knocking on your door, awkward conversations. Don't get me wrong, there are still people that do that. But as we advance and we have AI and technology, we take to the phones and other ways of reaching our clients. So a lot of people think it's just selling your friends and family and cold calling and knocking on doors, when in reality it can be whatever you make of it. We decide to take to the social media space, work with influencers, and appeal to the generation of now. And most people are on their phones 24/7. So it's not hard to get in front of the right audience. Absolutely. As I was stating before, a lot of people take to social media now. I mean, somebody has a side on their paint, like a paint on their side. What's the first thing to do? Google paint on my side. What is this? Like people just resort to the internet for almost anything now. And people like comfort, people like the easy way of things. So what's easier than just strolling through your Instagram social media platform, finding something that resonates with you, and taking action on it versus a stranger just showing up on your doorstep. So I think as technology progresses, I feel like the avenues and routes to succeed are just going to get easier. Well, I feel like insurance is always going to be around as long as there's people. Especially if we're talking about life insurance specifically. People are going to continue to multiply. Everybody has somebody in their life that's the most important person to them. So as long as you have their best interest in mind, because at the end of the day, life insurance is the most selfless thing you can do. It's not about you. It's not for you. It's about the most important people or person in your life that when you are gone, you can financially protect them when you can no longer provide for them anymore. So it's not just a matter of an expense or this is just insurance. Like this is an investment. Like every time you look at your loved one, this should just be like, if you were to go right now, I promise you probably can't write your loved one a $500,000 check. And if you can, that'd be great. But I bet you can afford $150 a month, where if you did pass away, they would get $500,000. So as long as there's people and loved ones in our lives, I feel like life insurance is going to be here to stay. I've had such massive success and I've done it for other people. I don't feel like a hypocrite when I try to bring people into this opportunity because I see what it's done for me and I've seen what it's done for others. So it's literally just from word of mouth where people whose lives I've changed and they have people in their circle that they want to have the same impact on. Or it's as simple as me seeing my same Starbucks guy every morning and he's here asking me, you're here every day, what do you do? And then I say, yo, this is what I'm into. Why don't you come in and check it out? I don't discriminate. You never know who your next hitter is going to be. Some people have a very big why and some people have a very strong work ethic. And there's a lot of people that work a lot harder than I do that make a lot less. So if you put that kind of work ethic behind an opportunity and an opportunity like this that we have, the sky's the limit. There's no cap on how much you can generate. You just gotta have that it factor. You gotta have that no quit in me. I feel like that's what separates me from a lot of people is my inability to quit. When I first got started in this industry, I went 3 months before I sold my first deal. I know many agents that after 2 weeks of not selling, they're out the door. There's been times in this industry where it's been very rough. I've had an empty fridge. I've had to move back in with my mom's. I've had to do a lot of things that a lot of people would immediately resort to go clocking in a clock somewhere to provide, which if that's what you need to do for your family, who am I to say anything about that? But dude, not for a second was there quitting me. But I'm definitely reaping the fruits of my labor now. So if there's anything I would give is, even when things get hard, just know that it could always be worse. And somebody out there has it harder than you do. So if somebody can make something shake out of an opportunity, there's no reason why you can't. But I feel like the reason why I'm so successful and the reason why I do well and I appeal to many people around me, because I have a large team and many people stay. I think it's just, I'm not so much sympathetic, I'm very empathetic. We all have our own sad story. Not many people care. It's just about, what are you going to do moving forward? What are you going to do about it? You know, you can sit in the corner and cry about it, where you can do something about it, right? So I'm all about hearing your story, but when people come to me with problems, I like to provide solutions. I'm like, hey, you're coming to me with a lot of issues. What's a solution? What can we do to resolve it? Not only that, but I'm very personable with my agents. I know all of them personally. I shake all their hands. I call them regularly. It's more of like a tight-knit family. But I feel like the reason why it feels that way is because I'm a minority. I come from a minority like aspect, where a lot of people just, they don't feel like they fit in, where they don't think it's going to work for them, where they think because they've never done sales before they can't do this, which is very far from the truth. If I can come from security, if I can have people that come from cleaning cars, and I mean, you name it, and they're here and they're successful. But I work hard with everybody. I hold everybody accountable. But I just have a very soft spot. I genuinely care about people. Life is very precious to me, and you know, I put happiness above a lot of things. You have to give me a pretty big number to put a price on my happiness. So one thing that I'll say is, when I start anybody in this industry, I treat everybody the same and I treat everybody fairly. What I dictate where my attention goes and where I help the most are the people that show it to me. The person that's here in the morning that I'm not calling, why are you late today? Or why are you leaving early? Like, actions really do speak louder than words. You know, you don't have to say a word, but if your performance is doing well and you're doing everything you're supposed to, that's going to scream louder than anybody that's just talking. I think another reason why I have so much influence and positive impact in so many people's lives is because not having guidance, not having a mentor, I know how important it can be. So I want to be that for as many people as possible. I'm literally at a point in my life where my objective is to positively impact as many people as humanly possible.